The bride are the 5 wise virgins in the parable of the 10 virgins. They had extra oil for their lamps because they were in constant prayer, fasting, worshiping and praising, Bible study, and walked in obedience and intimacy with Yeshua, Jesus. She sows, shares the word, and she reaps in the great harvest of souls, an event that shall occur after the 3 days of darkness in the 6th seal. Not all brides reap. Some are taken after accomplishing assignments before the judgments begin, and others at the rapture. During the millennium reign, she assists Yeshua, her bridegroom, in the restoration of the destroyed earth. The wheat are the 5 foolish virgins. They did not have extra oil for their lamps because they were too busy with worldly affairs. They didn't fast, pray, study the word, walk in obedience and intimacy with Yeshua. They played church, followed false doctrines of once saved, always saved, and waited to be raptured. They are purged through the holy fires of purification during the judgments. Some will be martyred and others raptured. The purged wheat are the guests at the wedding feast. The judgments are the short period of trials and tribulation before the Great Tribulation begins, a period during which the seals of revelation are opened. God uses Saturn to shake the unrepentant, sleeping church awake. Saturn uses science and sorcery to cause massive destruction on earth. This time is also termed as Saturn's wrath because Saturn is given some authority from seal 1 through to seal 5. The 6th seal is caused by planet X, during which are 3 days of darkness, followed by the great harvest of souls and a rapture of souls. The Great Tribulation is a 7-year period of God's wrath served upon the earth. It begins shortly after the 3 days of darkness. During this time, 7 trumpets and 7 vials of God's wrath are served upon the earth. During the 7-year period, the Antichrist reigns upon the earth. It is also a period of voice because the earth is filled with demons, hybrids, giants, fallen angels, who are thrown down from the second heaven, released from hell, the bottomless pit, and the great river Euphrates. The Great Deception, a multi-layered deception to cover up the truths, to hide the prophecies unfolding, and cause the church to be unaware of the end times. The judgments, disasters, and destructions are explained as the effects of climate change. The raptures explained as abductions from evil aliens. Demonic presence during the 3 days of darkness explained as the return of good aliens, the saviors who come to restore the earth. In truth, these are all displaced interplanetary, interdimensional beings, also known as demons. The rapture, the removal from the earth of believers who are alive and the dead, resurrected believers. From Bible text, we see raptures occurred both in the Old and the New Testaments. Enoch, Elijah, and John. Through prophetic messages, we know there will be more than one rapture. The first, second, and third watches, the pre-Great Trib, and the mid-Great Trib raptures. The dead and the innocent will be raptured first before the 3 days of darkness. Then the bride, the purged wheat, the glorious harvesters, those in the Exodus, and the two witnesses. Through prophetic messages, we understand that not all children will be raptured. A remnant shall be reserved for the Exodus, for God's special purposes. Those in the Exodus wilderness get raptured mid-trib, for they will be on earth for a duration of 3.5 years, as revealed in Revelation 12:14. The two witnesses who testify for 3.5 years are taken up mid-trib, as told in Revelation 11:12.